Hello. Welcome to this week's episode on my YouTube channel. Today it's more of a talk, kind of Q&A video. Well, I have no questions, but please drop some below if you have any after watching this video and I will respond to them. But I basically wanted to do a video about 5 tips that I would give to somebody who's making a big change or a big move in their life. As someone who's just gone through this, I thought I would share some of my insights with all of you, and hopefully I can help people down the line when they're making their big move or a big change in their life. So I'm gonna dive right in. I'm gonna dive right in right now. But before we begin, I just wanted to say thank you for all of everyone's support so far. And if you are enjoying this channel, please don't forget to like the videos because it really helps us creators, and to subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And if you have not followed me on Instagram yet, I post consistent content at cornelia.audrey. So let's be friends. Anyways, okay, so let's dive right into the top tips that I have when you are about to make a big move or a big change in your life. All right, tip number 1, this big shift, this big move will likely not go as planned. I'm not saying it's not going to go well, but there's always going to be unexpected hiccups or change of plans that come up, whether it be dealing with unexpected weather on your drive or dealing with like in my case, a contract that gets offered to you 2 days before you're supposed to leave. I ended up having to delay my trip out to Alberta by about 10 days because I got a work offer. And you know, not everybody works freelance like I do, but sometimes you just got to roll with the punches and be flexible. Something else I was dealing with was traveling in the middle of, well, it wasn't the middle of winter, it was the end of winter, and going in northern Canada, you just never know what the roads are going to look like. So I was definitely prepared to leave on a different day if I had to, and to stay in one spot longer than another, just in case, because you don't want to ever put yourself in danger. So I would say be as flexible as you can be, and sometimes that's half the fun. You know, if I had have left on my original date, I wouldn't have gotten the weather that I got when I drove, and I wouldn't have been able to, you know, take the time that I wanted to take and enjoy the sunshine. And it was really, I think everything usually works out the way it's supposed to. I am a big believer in that. So I would say just be flexible and know that things will shift. And it's not even just about when you're making a big change or a big move, but even when you're traveling. Like, so many times when I would be traveling through Asia, things would pop up, and we had to laugh about it, because when you're traveling, you can't be totally regimented, because things will happen, and if you can't laugh, well, it's not going to be as fun. Number 2 for advice would be, you always need less than you think you need. Now, I am kind of the worst in terms of keeping things, or in terms of the amount of clothes that I have. Over the years, I've definitely been downsizing more and more, living, from being at home to moving to university to moving into a townhouse in Toronto to moving into a tiny condo in Toronto to then moving across the country. Over the years, I have been downsizing as time's gone on, and I've gotten a lot better at it. I actually really like to live as minimal as possible. But I still tried to bring more than I needed. And my mom was actually very helpful in saying, you don't need all of that stuff. Like, you can leave some stuff here. So if you have the option to leave stuff somewhere, even just a little bit, definitely take that person up on that, because when you are traveling, when you are starting off somewhere new, you don't need every single piece of your life. Part of the beauty of making a big change is leaving certain things behind and starting fresh. So I would say bring your essentials, start with that, and if there's certain, memories or special items that you want to bring, totally do, but you don't need as much as you think. I left Toronto barely being able to close my Jeep because of the stuff that I had, and I left my mom's place the day that I moved with just a trunk full of stuff. So I definitely had to downsize more, and I was happy I did, because the move into different places when I got here was that much easier because I had less stuff. So that would be my advice on that. Number 3 would be, if you are moving somewhere for good, or you think you'll be there for a long extended period of time, but you maybe don't want to bring all of your stuff right away, I would say definitely keep memories. Now, I know a lot of people when they do a big move will be like, okay, let's just trash stuff, let's get rid of things, let's start fresh. And I respect that. But I also think that there is something to be said for having memories, for, having keepsakes and having things in your life that were from a different time, that when you were older, you're gonna wanna look back on. Now, I downsized my memories. I had stuff from when I was a baby, and like through public school, and I definitely got rid of a lot of that stuff, but I still kept a couple boxes that I can look at when I'm older and reminisce on, my childhood or my university days. So if there's somebody in your family, or if you can afford a storage locker, I would say it's nice to keep those things, because one day you'll be thankful that you did. So don't feel the need to get rid of every single thing that you own. If you can manage to store a couple lovely pieces, then I definitely recommend doing that. Number 4 would be, don't be afraid to do this kind of move alone. Now, I know a lot of the time doing things on your own can be scary, or traveling alone can be scary, making a big move alone can be scary, and maybe you aren't doing this alone. Maybe you're doing this with a family member, or you're doing this with a partner, or an animal even. But if not doing it because you're going to do it alone is keeping you from doing it, I would say don't be afraid of that, because you will never regret the decision to take a chance and to try something new. And there is beauty in doing things alone. I had a lot of people question me when I decided to go across the country by myself, and I've done a lot of traveling in the last year alone, and people are like, why do you do that? It's like they don't understand, and I'm like, yeah, I have lots of friends, and I love spending time with my friends, and I love traveling with my friends, but there is something wonderful about traveling on your own and experiencing things and feeling inspired and being cultivated, being creatively cultivated, if that makes sense. My trip out to Calgary, I would not change it for the world. I had the time that I wanted. I had the route that I wanted. I stopped wherever I wanted, and a lot of people don't like to stop as much as I do on trips. I love taking pictures and videos, obviously, and taking all the sights, so it was nice to be able to do it alone. And so I would definitely recommend making a big shift by yourself, because it's special, and yeah, it can be scary, but it's going to be okay, and I really believe that you're stronger for it. So that's my opinion, at least. And then number 5, last but not least, is about friendships and community. Now, I think when you're making a big move, it's important to seek out new friendships and seek out new connections, and enjoy a new city or a new place and see what the people there have to offer. But I do think it's so important to stay connected to your community and your friends from wherever you're coming from. One of the biggest things that's kept me feeling happy and in a good headspace is staying connected to my friends. I text my best friends every single day. I text my mom every single day. I talk to probably 2 to 3 friends on the phone every week, which is a little much, but it helps. And as much as I'm trying to make new friends here, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so obviously things aren't like they normally would be, and that's made it more challenging, but I've met a few people that are amazing, and I'm excited to cultivate deeper relationships with them, and I'm trying to also open up new opportunities in the film industry here, but I don't want to lose the connections I have back home. Those people mean a lot to me, and when you have developed relationships over time, there's nothing that can compare. So I would say, when you are in the midst of a new change and you are looking to start kind of fresh in life, definitely make new friends, but don't forget about those old connections, because you'll remember those people and you'll have them in your life for the rest of your life, I believe, if you want. I've had friends since I was 5 that I still talk to all the time, and there's nothing like those relationships. Nothing can compare to those. So I would say be open to meeting new people, but don't forget where you came from. And when times can get tough, when you are in a new chapter and you are looking for new opportunities in your life, it is the people that have known you the longest that will help you get through those challenging times and who know you the best. So keep your friends around, because they're important. So yeah, those are my 5 tips on making a big change or making a big move in your life. I've just kind of skimmed the surface. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer them below. Just to give you a bit of context, I did move to Alberta from Ontario about 2 months ago, and I'm loving it so far, and I definitely have learned a lot. I've grown a lot in doing it. And honestly, the change came because I just needed to shake things up in my life. I wanted to travel somewhere new. I knew that Toronto wasn't a place that I wanted to spend the rest of my life, and this felt right. So it's exciting, and it's not for everybody. You don't have to move across the country. It could be a change in your career. It could be a change in your routine. I'm not saying pick up all your stuff and move, but that's just my experience. And I just think sometimes when you shake things up, it can really benefit your life, and some beautiful things will unfold. So however that looks for you, I hope that you are having a great year and that you are feeling fulfilled in where you're at. And I'm excited to see you all next week again. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see y'all again soon. Bye.